the 2013 Scooby-Doo stage fright animated film that brings our favorite mystery-solving team to a high school musical production, with a spooky twist, of course.
Get ready for pizza that's packed with layers of flavors and a whole lot of heart.
Let's see you eating this pizza.
All right, I'll take the first bite.
Yes, please.
Flavor explosion in your mouth. It's like the pizza version of a Scooby-Doo mystery. You take one bite and you're hooked, and you just want to keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Film and Flavor, the show where films and food are combined in the most delicious way possible. I'm Zain Hassan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mohammed Zayani. Today, we've got a film that is super special. It's Scooby-Doo.
Has the best pizza? Yeah, pizza.
That's right. It's the 2013 Scooby-Doo stage fright animated film that brings our favorite mystery-solving team to a high school musical production, with a spooky twist, of course.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a delicious ride. But before we jump into the mystery of stage fright, let's set the scene. Scooby and the gang are at a performing arts school where they stumble upon a ghostly phantom, a ghost who wants to sabotage the musical. We're talking about high school drama, but with real drama, if you know what I mean.
Definitely. And Scooby snacks aren't the only thing they'll be after today, because we've got some pizza coming up that will make you say zoinks. We'll save that for later.
I think you need to hit a higher pitch on that, right?
Yeah.
So it's not
Zoinks?
zoinks, it's zoinks!
Yeah, kind of like that.
I like that. So
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo is an interesting character because he made his debut way back in the 60s, but he's still going strong today.
Not haunted.
Wait, who's driving?
Green means go, right?
Shaggy!
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Yeah, I mean, he's an iconic character, obviously, and many dogs have been named after Scooby. So that's a cool, you know.
I can see that. I can
Yeah, a
definitely
lot
see
of
that.
dogs. I mean, a lot of owners have named their dogs Scooby. So he kind of set a generational dog name there. So what do you think of Scooby-Doo as a character?
I think he's very iconic in the sense that he transcended generations. So our parents have seen it. We've seen it. The generation that came after me, which is your generation, know Scooby-Doo and love Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's a basic story, but I think because of how basic it is, it can relate to a lot of people. Scooby-Doo with his appetite for Scooby snacks, him and Shaggy are a dynamic duo who are always afraid, and they contrast well with the rest of the gang.
Yeah.
And he's been able to jump from different mediums, and that really helped their longevity.
A character that stood out to me as a child would probably be Velma.
Okay.
I'd say because she kind of represented me in ways. She had short hair, glasses, but I also thought she was pretty cool, very chill, you know? And like you mentioned, how Scooby-Doo is, I think for all generations, we all have different perceptions of Scooby-Doo. So there are people from like an older generation who know Scooby-Doo for the comics, and then there are people from the newer generation who know Scooby-Doo for the 2000s films.
True.
I first got introduced to Scooby-Doo from the original 2002 Scooby-Doo film. There is actually, like you said, how different generations perceive it differently. There is actually a huge pop culture meme that goes around. It's like the guy who plays Fred, I mean, the girl who plays Daphne in the film says it's a movie that is for not just boys, it's for girls as well, and it's just a movie for everyone to love and enjoy. And the guy goes, it's a talking dog, you know? So I think that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
It is a talking dog, and that is so cool. Like, that is the whole point of the film.
It's part of the charm of that, but I think film has a lot more to offer as well, because the way the humor is made, watching it as a kid is different than watching it as an adult. Because revisiting it recently, there are a few jokes that definitely flew over my head at the time, and now that I'm watching it, like, okay, This shouldn't be in a kids movie.
Yeah,
This should definitely not be there.
Yeah, there are a lot of there's a lot of dark humor in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say a lot of like adult jokes thrown in there that you just don't get as a kid, but you also don't kind of think about too much as a child.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so that's what makes it a lot more funnier.
It is, and the movie itself was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The sequel as well, I would say as well. Even some of the shows that came and went after that. Then we have Velma.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
Velma.
So Velma is a spin-off that focuses on the Velma character, but it exists in a world that has some of the Scooby-Doo characters, but it does not have Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's a Scooby-Doo-less Scooby-Doo show.
Wow, I've never heard of that. It sounds nice.
Let's keep it that way. Don't try looking for it. Don't try asking about it.
It's that bad?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, I get what they were trying to do with the show, but no.
All right, I trust your judgment.
I get like trying to reinvent things, but this straight off way off the beaten path.
Yeah.
So if you love Scooby-Doo as he is, you're gonna hate this.
I trust your judgment.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you. For that, I mean, just keep going back to the original show from the 60s, the many iterations of it.
Yeah.
Even like in the first two live action movies, because those are a lot of fun.
Those were a lot of fun. I grew up with those actually. The reference that I made to the meme was actually when the movie was premiering, when they were
They're promoting it?
promoting the film. It came from the promotion of the film.
That was just... I don't know what that was. I'm running away from it. Me too.
It's got everything a Scooby-Doo fan could want. You've got Velma using her brain power, Fred organizing the crew as usual, and of course, Shaggy and Scooby, two of the most iconic food-loving characters in animation history.
That's what I love about this. You know, Stage Fright came out in 2013, but it had a lot of elements that made it feel fresh and new. The animation was slick, and the musical setting was so different from the typical creepy mansions we're used to seeing in the series. The filmmakers really took a bold approach.
For sure. And it's so fun because even though the story is totally different, it still maintains that classic Scooby-Doo vibe. It's like a tribute to the original series, but updated for a newer generation.
Exactly. And we couldn't talk about the production without mentioning the incredible voice cast. You got Frank Welker as Fred, Matthew Lillard as Shaggy, and of course, the talented Gray Delisle as Daphne. Not to mention Kate Micucci, who voiced Velma. These actors bring so much heart and humor to the roles, especially during the musical scenes.
And that's the thing with Scooby-Doo. The voice acting always makes these characters feel like family. The crew behind the scenes really nailed that.
And on the way to the library to find more information about the Phantom, Shaggy and Scooby easily succumbed to the smell of Chicago pizza and stopped at this restaurant instead. Shaggy requested a pizza that is larger than what is offered on the restaurant menu. The waitress moved Shaggy and Scooby to a table big enough for the order. Soon enough, the kitchen staff worked as a team, rolling out a gigantic pizza on a large industrial cart tray that tips the pizza onto Shaggy's table via remote control. The waitress promised to wrap up any leftovers, but Shaggy and Scooby laughed and finished it all off. Everyone in the restaurant and the waitress were in awe of Shaggy and Scooby's eating talent.
If you don't mind, we'd like to be alone with the pizza.
Their praise was short-lived as everyone turned their attention to the diva singer Lottie Lavoie, who had entered the restaurant with her bodyguards. Lavoie intimidated Shaggy and Scooby as a message to Fred and Daphne for competing against her in the singing contest. The duo were frightened by Lottie Lavoie and ran out of the restaurant. They shortly returned to pay and tip the waitress for their pizza and then ran back out. So now, let us see how Chef Ali Yusuf will prepare Giovanni's Chicago pizza.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Ali Yusuf, and today we're making Giovanni's famous Chicago style dip dish pizza. Inspired by the Windy City itself, get ready for pizza that's packed with layers of flavors and a whole lot of heart. Let's get cooking. To begin with, let me show you the ingredients. First, we're gonna show you the ingredients for the dough. To make the dough, I have olive oil, vegetable oil, I got butter, yeast, dry yeast. I mixed it with the water to minimize the time. So I've soaked it there, and then I have sugar, salt, and all-purpose flour. Let's start with putting the flour in the bowl, mixing bowl, with salt and sugar. We're going to mix it together. Then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Vegetable oil, olive oil, water, and yeast, and butter, melted butter. We'll put it to mix on low speed for 7 minutes. We'll get back to you. 7 minutes is done, and the dough looks perfectly mixed. We're going to cut it into 2 halves. And stays in there. That goes, cover it, keep it in a room temperature for an hour. And then, while then, we'll preheat the oven, and let me get the sauce ingredients and the toppings ready. And then from there, we'll take it. We're back, and let's see, reheat this one. I've got the ingredients for the sauce and the toppings. Let me introduce you first before I start here. I've got pizza spices, a thyme, and oregano, basil. It's all fresh, chopped. Got olive oil, sugar, tomatoes, garlic. That's for the sauce. For the toppings, I got cheese, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, fresh mozzarella cheese, sliced, hot dogs. Let's get it started with starting this on olive oil. Then I'm going to put the garlic, followed by the tomatoes, the fresh herbs, okay, then just bring it a little bit to boil, and then we'll do the rest, because we need to cook everything completely in there. And now it's almost bubbling. Now we're going to add the sugar. Mix everything together. Right, I would say the pizza sauce is almost ready there. We'll just leave it aside to rest. And then when it's cold, we'll put it in the fridge. So it's really get the flavor. Okay, and then, while then, we wait for the dough. Also, if it's ready, then we'll get back to you. Okay, we'll just set this aside, clean up the mess, and wait for the dough to get ready. As you see, the dough is ready, puffed. Now, we'll take one. Spray. Right. Pizza sauce first. You're gonna enjoy this pizza. Right. Mozzarella cheese. Parmesan cheese. Fresh mozzarella. And sausages. This is it. We're going to put it in the oven and have it baked. And the pizza is ready. Let's take it out of the oven. Let's turn it off first. This is how it looks like. If you want it more, you can do it more. But that's just a perfect pizza color. We'll let it rest for a minute so the cheese will not fall when we cut it. Cheese is settled, a bit cold. Now, we'll cut it. It's ready. And here it is, the Giovanni's Chicago pizza baked to perfection. Just look at that cheese pool. Who's ready to dig in Giovanni's Chicago pizza from Scooby-Doo? Is nothing short of legendary. This isn't just any pizza, it's a slice of adventure, mystery, and deliciousness, all in one bite. Enjoy it.
Welcome back. Oh my goodness, this looks absolutely amazing. I can already feel the zoinks coming in.
You need to hit a higher pitch on that zoinks. Come on. No?
You can do it. You do it better than me.
I'll do another one. Ruh-oh.
That's actually a good impression of Scooby.
Is that not bad, right?
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Okay.
Let's see you eating this pizza.
All right, I'll take the first bite.
Yes, please. And I'm gonna take this away from you, just because
All right.
we don't need that negativity in our lives. Oh, look at, oh, that has a decent cheese pull.
All right.
How is it? Yeah? We'll try a bit of that. Okay. That has a nice crunch on the crust. I like the addition of sausage to it, instead of pepperoni.
Yeah. It definitely feels very Chicago. Because the Italians would very much disapprove of this. Very Shaggy and Scooby of them to pick this specific pizza. I mean, it's so fun.
Yeah.
And it's also very childish in a way.
It is,
Because
yeah.
you don't usually see sausages on pizza. So I think that's what, I mean, we kind of do, but this specific pizza kind of feels like it's meant to kind of like an alternative for pepperonis. So, because pepperonis are kind of like fancy, and sausages are more of like a cool, messy.
Honestly, and I'll confess this, I hate pepperoni.
All right.
I cannot stand the taste of it. It is a vile meat that has no purpose being on any
I love
food to eat.
pepperoni.
Really?
It's so sad to hear.
I just can't stand it. I don't get the hype over it.
We can agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree. So this actually works for me.
Yeah.
And the Chicago pizza is unique in that it's very simple in terms of the toppings.
Yeah.
Usually besides the cheese and the sauce, there's usually only like one topping at most. But most people would eat it plain with cheese and the sauce itself because it does come thicker than a regular pizza. And it's to the point that some people even call it souffle.
Oh, okay.
Right? But where do you stand on the pizza wars? Are you more of a New York slice kind of person, or does this do it for you?
This does it for me.
Really? More so than a slice?
Like a less traditional pizza kind of girl, you know? It's like, I appreciate a good Italian pizza, but I can also, this does it for me, you know?
And the
It's like
simple things in life, right?
very cheesy, very messy. It's It's pretty good. So, going back to Scooby-Doo, what's the character, in your opinion, that kind of stood out from the rest of them?
I mean, a lot of them do. Like even someone like Fred, who people call bland, he does.
Or like the pretty boy of
Yeah,
the
but he does fit. He does stand out in his own unique
does,
way,
yeah.
especially in later shows where they flesh out his character more.
Yeah.
But I mean, it always goes back to the unique dynamic of Shaggy and Scooby, because they complement one another. It's not a situation where like they're an odd couple where one is
Yeah.
something, the other is something else. They're two peas in a pod, and the fact that they're so similar, even though they're different creatures and whatnot, just adds to the dynamic and to the fun of it. Add to it that the rest of the group are very different than them. And you wonder, how did these people all meet? How are they friends?
Yeah.
Because on paper, it doesn't make sense and it shouldn't work. But somehow, some way, it does.
I think this, the whole point of Scooby-Doo is to just prove to you that opposites do attract.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they all attract each other because they're all kind of the opposites of each other. But you know, like what I'd say, my favorite, like a character that kind of stood out to me in Scooby-Doo is probably going to be Scooby-Doo. I think he's really cool. He's really awesome. And you know, the background of Scooby-Doo's name is actually a very, there's a pretty fun story to it.
Okay.
So Scooby-Dooby-Doo actually derived from
I think I know where you're going with this.
yeah, from a Frank Sinatra song called Strangers in the Night. The last verse that he sings is Dooby Dooby Doo. Frank originally sings that in the song. And so the creators of the show, when they first heard that verse, they just decided to rename Scooby Scooby Dooby Doo. So that's how they got the name.
You know, I don't think I remember that song properly. Maybe you should sing it for me to...
To strangers in the night.
Exchanging glances.
So yeah, it's
We
a pretty,
definitely need to do that karaoke show sometime down the line.
But it's a pretty good, it's a nice story to have, you know, with a name. So yeah.
And how about this? Were you one of those people who were disappointed, like in the end of each episode, where it turns out, oh, it's not a monster, it's a guy in a costume? Or do you think that's, I mean, did that put you more at ease that, oh, monsters are unreal, it's just people?
It definitely put me at more ease because growing up watching the Scooby-Doo films, I truly believed that those were actual monsters, and it used to freak me out. So it was just like a big relief to know that, all right, this is just a guy in a costume. You can chill, you can calm down.
We are safe for another night, right? Good. I don't know about you guys, but after talking about Scooby and the gang, I'm ready for some serious food time.
Wow, the crust is so buttery and flaky, and that rich tomato sauce, it's like a flavor explosion in your mouth. It's like the pizza version of a Scooby-Doo mystery. You take one bite and you're hooked, and you just want to keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper, just like Scooby and Shaggy with their snacks. In the film, at the really long table, the pizza was delivered. The waitress doubts that they'll be able to eat it all, but was proven wrong. I am sure that we will be able to eat it all today too.
Oh, absolutely, Zane. You know, think about Scooby-Doo and the legacy of the series. Not just the stage fright movie, but the whole series as a whole.
Yeah.
My favorite scene will have to be from the second Scooby-Doo feature film. In it, the monsters come to life, and the whole gang are running away in their van. And Shaggy exclaims, "Oh, this is the second worst day of my life." And Velma asks him, "Oh, what's the first day of your life?" And he comes back, "Every living day of my life." And that's just such, it so rings true to the characters because they're always on edge. They're always afraid of all these creatures, monsters that they encounter, that it just felt so appropriate for the moment.
Wonder what's in them. Yo! Funny place to keep bats. Hope they've all, like, flown the coop. There's nothing in here but a bunch of old costumes. Hey, somebody around here must have been in showbiz. Raggy. Yeah? Yeah!
That's a pretty funny scene. My favorite scene would probably have to be specific from this film that we're talking about today, Stage Fright. There's a scene where Fred and Daphne are singing along to a song called I Love You on stage. And I just don't know why, but growing up, I kind of just loved that song so much.
Okay.
So it was one of my favorites from that film. And there were also a bunch of others, like I think Ariel Winter, I don't know if you know her, but she sings one of the songs. She plays another character, like a little diva. I like that song too, but I don't think it would be appropriate to mention that song right now.
All right, all right.
But the song that stood out to me was the one that Fred and Daphne sang.
That was a good song.
Yeah, that was a good song. So thank you so much for watching us. And of course, a huge thanks to Chef Ali Yusuf for making this very tasty Giovanni's Chicago pizza. It is a monster of a meal, the kind of pizza that makes you say, Zoinks, this is the best pizza ever. You can practically taste the excitement in every bite. It's the perfect blend of cheesy comfort and mystery-solving goodness, and it's Scooby approved.
Yes, thank you once again, Chef Ali. And whether you're a fan of the classic series or the newer movies like Stage Fright, one thing's for sure, this show and this pizza are all about fun. See you next time with another film and another dish. Goodbye.